Well, I think then the carrier comes into it for getting quick access to look at the
Yeah,
face
because
of
the
the
carrier
tire.
takes it everywhere it goes. It doesn't go anywhere without the carrier unless it's on the track ready to run. And then the carrier's waiting for it at the other end of the course if it needs to make a hurried turnaround for like a national record or such. The carrier has to be there waiting for it to turn it around right away. It's going to get there a long time before the carrier does if they leave the same time. And all that is time saved in your turnaround time because they're pretty particular about the hour and they're right down to the second. So the carrier can lift it up to work height, lower it down to towing height, and or lower it down to the ground. The carrier does, it's like a kind of a undersea creature. It can go, the back wheels turn, it rolls over the car, lifts it up by 4 points right near the front and rear tires, and locks it in place, and then it can tow 30, 50 miles an hour with that on there, which is sometimes you need to go that fast when you're in a rush. So, and the thing has lights, it's got awnings that come out, it's one of those things that you'd like to have to work on your car.
You've been on this metal from the cockpit on back for longer than normal.
Quite a while. Well, what's normal?
Well, it ain't done yet.
No, it ain't.
So, what's getting at you on this section back here? It's complex and it looks simple. Tell me about that.
Well, that's the simplest things are sometimes the most complex to achieve. One of the things that Jason's finding out on the other side of the car is he's got these first two panels, the one alongside the transmission and the one behind it alongside the rear tires. Those are all fine and finished and dandy, but then when you put them on the car, sometimes things change. So he's taking it off the car, hammering it, changing it, filing it, whatever, and then he puts the skin back on the car to make sure that when it's on the car it's right, not necessarily on the bench. So now he's been finding that out, that things are changing. And then the one behind it, it needs to match those two, and this goes on back behind the whole, alongside the whole car. The thing is, they might look really neat on the bench, one at a time, but you put them all in the car and run a straight edge down the side and bend a stringer along the edge, you'd be surprised the differences you'll find then.
How much variation are you talking about?
Sometimes it's just a flat spot, maybe a couple of thousandths of an inch deep. But if you do that on a mirror, it's going to look like a huge bend in the mirror. And on a car like this, you'll be able to sight, anybody will be able to sight down one side of it or the other anytime they want. The metalwork is there to be seen, and especially out in the sun or under lights. You can't have a highlight that comes down and then does a lightning bolt and goes somewhere else. It's not good doesn't look good for the car, and it makes the car unsymmetrical. You want to keep both sides exactly the same, so you keep them both just right.
So right now, how far back have you accomplished on the skin?
So far, completely, we've gone back to the bay right behind the engine. We've got the transmission bay pretty well done. And now he's blending the one behind that with the cockpit bay. So it's, unless you see it, and unless you see it demonstrated what we're talking about, it's pretty hard to imagine that maybe just a few thousandths of a wobble in the panel might not be that much. But if you put it on the car and look down the side of the car, it looks like there's a big ding in it. And that doesn't do well. I wouldn't want dings in my car if somebody was doing that for me.
You've got curves coming into almost flat places. And from the air brake back, how much change is there in it?
Well, you mean the curve?
Yep, on the
Changes
sides.
a little bit. Toward the back of the fin, especially on the top fin, it curves in a little bit because it has to go to a point in the back. Where the bottom part comes back less of an angle because all it has to do is go back to where the chute canister are, and that's a 6-inch by 24-inch vertical opening. So it goes up to that. It goes up 24 inches, the body around the canisters, looking at it from the back, and then it comes around and greets itself at the top canister and goes straight up like a fin. So you've got this detail down the side. It's just a large controlled wrinkle that changes that fin and gradually blends it into the body toward the front near the canopy, where the body all becomes straight up and down. We have bees here too.
I can see that you aren't into protecting animals the way you attacked that insect.
No, I'd have killed it if I'd have got a chance. No, I like the bees.
Well,
the cherries grow.
there's the question that all of us involved in any measure around this car are faced with over and over and over. And what's your answer to that question?
I don't know how to answer it, other than I just don't know. It's good. We're working on it as much as we can. There's two of us putting our full time into it, and we're probably going to get done with it about the time Marlo and Les get done with theirs.
Seems to me that you're not going to be committed for any more than that. Thanks for your day.
Okay.